Hey guys, Victoria here from Pinstyle at Copenhagen Fashion Week. And for those of you who don't know, Copenhagen is actually known as one of the fashion capitals throughout Europe and has brought us designers such as Malene Berger, who was dubbed by MTV as being the fashion queen of Copenhagen. Interestingly enough as well, the Danish have managed to buck the international trend of the fashion scene seeing problems with the global recession, and they've actually grown by 11% in the past year. Copenhagen style can be largely described in sort of three words, which is black, white, and clean. And this is a lot of what we're seeing in the collections that we saw from the first day of Copenhagen Fashion Week. So we started out the day at Margarethe Skolen, whose collection brought us both men and women's wear. Her menswear collection was a very interesting take. She had sort of two parts of the menswear collection. The first part was almost seemingly like an urban anarchist feel, with really colorful shorts and matching masks, sort of bandanas wrapped around the mouth. It's almost like it looked like a Banksy image come to life in a lot of ways. And then the second thing that you had was a sort of hipster dandy look. So it was like lots of bright colors, short cut-off pants, mini shorts for guys, and then like pulled-up socks and horn-rimmed glasses. So a very hipster dandy feel. The women's played it more traditional. She stuck to a very Copenhagen style, so again lots of black and white, which she offset with structural elements. So you saw a lot of fringe draping. You also had very strong structural shoulders, and the colors that she chose to use this year was an interesting pairing of an aquamarine and a red-orange, which you saw in suits and skirts, and usually aquamarine took the backstage as either a top or accessories, etc. The next show we went to was Freya Dalsjö, who seems to be, there's a lot of buzz generated around her and seems to be like a really up-and-coming designer here in Copenhagen. Her collection was interesting because a lot of it was actually, again, stuck to the typical Copenhagen style, lots of black and white, and she actually chose a non-traditional color in terms of going for a almost military camouflage type green as the color she chose this season. For me personally, it reminded me a lot of the Victoria Beckham collection from back in February of 2012, her at New York Fashion Week, because of the very almost military-like structure of the cuts. And one consistent element that Freya had throughout her collection was sort of this mini visor with a small stripe going over the crown. I found that really interesting because Victoria Beckham as well used small baseball cap type hats in the last collection that she did. I think it was a really great collection, and she had really interesting elements such as combining leather with crepe, lots of structural things that were very interesting such as pleated leather, and yeah, a really good collection all in all, but very, very cold coloring for a spring-summer collection. The last thing that we went to, which for me was the highlight of the day, was a Johansson exhibition at one of the shops in the Vesterbo area. And she had a very different take. It was, again, very structural, very clean, and Freya Johansson had decided not to present this week at Copenhagen Fashion Week in terms of having an actual show, but decided to have an exhibition with one of the shops that she regularly partners with. And interestingly enough, she chose to have very small mini dresses, and there was a single model throughout the exhibition with images of the model and wearing the clothes, and the clothes displayed on mannequins throughout the store. The pieces itself, she again went back to the typical color palette of lots of black and white, and a very muted mint green color seemed to be the color that she picked up on for this season's color trend, which she's going for. Beautiful structural pieces in terms of the draping, very short and very edgy. And she also had a lot of capes in her collection as well to kind of offset the sort of edginess with something a bit more feminine, airy, and ethereal. So all in all, it was a good first day at Copenhagen Fashion Week. Tomorrow we are off to the Copenhagen International Fashion Forum as well as Gallery, and both of which are seen as like the buying headquarters. They're trade shows rather than shows. And that seems to be a big trend here in Copenhagen. It seems to be a very big city that people in fashion come to buy at and see what the trends are. So stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.